Dear learners, in our previous export process flow, we have seen some new concepts which needs to be explained well. We didn't explain those in detail in previous topic with the intent of not losing the focus on the flow of the process. But it is explained well in this chapter, and let's look at different topics like what is HS code? What is the process to get certificate of origin document? What is the process to get inspection document? We will also see another important document which is called as consular invoice in this topic. So here our first topic is what is HS code? HS stands for Harmonized System. The Harmonized System or HS code is an internationally standardized system for classifying and coding goods traded across countries. It is used by customs authorities, importers, exporters, and other stakeholders to classify products for custom clearance, tariff calculation, and statistical purposes. The HS code is crucial in international trade because it provides a uniform classification system that facilitates the smooth movement of goods and ensures consistency in trade documentation and regulations worldwide. The HS code comprises a hierarchical structure with 6 digits, which are further extended to 10 digits in some countries for more detailed classification. Each digit in the code represents a specific level of classification, with the first 2 digits indicating the chapter, the next 2 digits representing the heading, and the following 2 digits indicating the subheading. Here's an example of HS codification logic for the 3 products. Product in our first example is fresh apples. HS code for fresh apples is 08.08.10. Here, 08 represents chapter for edible fruits and nuts, peel of citrus fruit or melons. Here, 08.08 represents heading for apples, pears, and quinces, and fresh. And finally, 08.08.10 represents subheading for apples. Here in our second example product is men's cotton t-shirts. Now HS code for this is 61.09.10. Here 61 represents chapter for articles of apparel and clothing accessories, knitted or crochet. 61.09 represents heading for t-shirts, singlets, tank tops and similar garments, knitted or crocheted. And 61.09.10 represents subheading for t-shirts, singlets and tank tops of cotton. So now let's take one more example of product called as laptops. Here HS code for laptop is 84.71.30. Here 84 represents chapter for nuclear reactors, boilers, machinery and mechanical appliances, parts thereof. 84.71 represents heading for automatic data processing machines and units thereof, magnetic or optical readers, machines for transcribing data onto data media in coded form, and machines for processing such data, not elsewhere specified or included. And 84.71.30 represents subheading for portable automatic data processing machines weighing not more than 10 kg. Consisting of at least a central processing unit, a keyboard and a display. In these examples, the HS codes provide a standardized classification for each product based on its characteristics, composition and intended use. This classification enables customs authorities to apply appropriate tariffs, assess import-export restrictions and gather statistical data on trade flows accurately. Additionally, it helps traders comply with custom regulations, determine landed costs, and identify market access opportunities based on preferential trade agreements or tariff. Now let's jump on to our next topic, which talks about process to get certificate of origin document. In a previous example of shipment from Canada to India, we have seen that one requirement is export documents is a certificate of origin. Now here's a step-by-step process for preparing the certificate of origin document. The first one is determine requirements. Understand the specific requirements for the certificate of origin, which is COO, based on the importing country's regulations and any trade agreements in place. Second one is gather necessary information. Collect all required information, including details about the products being exported, their origin, manufacturing process, and any applicable trade agreements. The third one is complete application form. Fill out the COO application form provided by the relevant authority or Chamber of Commerce. Provide accurate and detailed information about the goods and their origin. Fourth, attach supporting documents. Gather supporting documents such as invoices, packing lists, and production records that verify the origin of the goods. Now, these documents may be required to accompany the COO application. Fifth is submit application. Submit the completed application form along with the supporting documents to be designated authority or Chamber of Commerce responsible for issuing COOs. This can often be done in person or online depending on the procedures in place. The sixth one is the payment of fees, if applicable. Pay any required fees for processing the COO application. The fees vary depending on the issuing authority and the number of certificates requested. The seventh point is review and approval. The issuing authority will review the application and supporting documents to ensure compliance with the relevant regulations and requirements. Once approved, the COO will be issued. The eighth point is the certificate issuance. Receive the issued certificate of origin from the issuing authority. Ensure that all information on the certificate is accurate and matches the accompanying documents. The next point, ninth point, is attached to shipment. Once obtained, attach the certificate of origin to the shipment documentation as it may be required by customs officials in the importing country for clearance purposes. Now, it's also important to understand that determining the country of origin for products with multiple raw materials from different countries can be complex and depends on the specific rules and regulations of the importing country or trading bloc. Several methods and criteria may be used to determine the country of origin in such cases, like first one is substantial transformation. Some countries apply the principle of substantial transformation, where the country in which the final product undergoes the most significant manufacturing or processing is considered the country of origin. Now, this can involve assessing the value added or the extent to which the product is transformed in a particular country. The second point is value added criteria. The country of origin may be determined based on the value added by each country in the production process. This involves calculating the percentage of the final product's value contributed by each country's labor, materials, and manufacturing processes. The third one is tariff shift rule. Many trade agreements and custom regulations use the tariff shift rule to determine the country of origin. This rule specifies that the final product must undergo a change in tariff classification from its constituent parts or materials to qualify as originating from a particular country. Specific processing or manufacturing operations. This is the fourth point. Some countries have specific criteria or lists of processing or manufacturing operations that must be performed within their borders for a product to be considered as originating from that country. These operations could include assembling, finishing, or substantial manufacturing processes. The fifth point is cumulation of origin. Certain trade agreements allow for cumulation of origin, where the processing or manufacturing activities undertaken in multiple countries within a specific trading bloc are cumulatively considered for determining the country of origin. This allows for greater flexibility in sourcing raw materials and components. The sixth one is preference criteria. In the context of preferential trade agreements, the country of origin may be determined based on a specific preference criteria outlined in the agreement. These criteria may vary depending on the agreement and could not include regional value content thresholds or other qualifying conditions. Documentation and declaration, which is the last seventh point. Importers or exporters may be required to provide documentation and declarations specifying the origin of each raw material or component used in the production process. This information helps customs authorities verify the country of origin and ensure compliance with regulations. Overall, determining the country of origin for products with multiple raw materials involves considering various factors such as manufacturing process, value added, specific rules of origin, and applicable trade agreements. Importers and exporters should carefully assess the requirements of the importing country or trading bloc and maintain accurate records to support their claims of origin. Consulting with customs authorities or trade experts can also help navigate the complexities of origin determination in international trade.